Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again on the Political Spectrum. My name is Cerveka Bekarovsky, and today we have Hunter Spencer, as usual, as our sound technician. Today we have with us the McLean County Clerk, Clerk Michael. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today, Kathy.
Well, thanks. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. If you wanted to start off, give us a little rundown of who you are, what you do.
Well, I grew up here in McLean County, and I am the elected McLean County Clerk. Every 4 years I'm up for office, so I was just elected, and I'll be up again in 2026. And we just have a busy office. The elections get all the attention, as you guys and gals know, especially the one coming up, presidential, in 2024 is really going to be a doozy, as I call it. But our office does so much more, including marriage licenses, issue death certificates, vital records, anything you need to look up a birth certificate to get your passport or to get something like that. We do all of those things as well, assume names, doing business as.
Wow.
And we also have the recording division. So that was voted to me, to us, a few years back to go under the county clerk's offices. So we're busy with that, with recorded documents as well. So it's a really busy office.
Yeah, I had no idea how much the county clerk's office actually did until I started talking to Hunter, and he explained to me. I was like, wow, you guys do everything that runs society.
Yes, thank you.
Alrighty, definitely hard work, well appreciated as well. If you're good, we can just jump into our first question, which is, what inspired you to enter politics?
Well, that's a really good question, because I never wanted to be an elected official. And here I am. I was a consultant. I was a business consultant, had my own business, and a political consultant, and helped with a lot of elections. Local, I started out actually with Ronald Reagan's second term, and then Bush, and then I lived in Chicago for 10 years and helped out. So I really, as a small town, grew up in Lexington, farm girl, that used to walk beans for 50 cents an hour. I got quite an eye-opener working in Chicago politics for 10 years.
Definitely
a very good background. So I moved back to McLean County due to a death in the family, and felt I needed to stay around McLean County for a while. And some group approached me and asked me if I would run for county clerk. And there were various reasons for that, but they approached me, and I fell for it. No, I mean, I gladly said yes, even though I like the behind the scenes sometimes better, but after 3 terms now, I just absolutely love it. I have wonderful staff, and I love a challenge, and this job certainly is that.
Awesome. Yeah. The county clerk position sounds intimidating to just kind of jump onto, but I guess going from Chicago, it'd be probably a smoother transition.
Yeah, I saw just about everything in Chicago, and just that you have to have a certain thick skin, I should say, and not let insults and things bother you. But, that's in everyday life, too.
Definitely,
so you just have to be tough and keep smiling.
Yeah. So what jobs, I know you explained what the county clerk's office does, but specifically as county clerks, what jobs do you have? What is under your control?
Right, and again, it's vital records, so it's not just elections, which again I always say, and my 96-year-old mother doesn't like it when I say it, but it's the sexiest part of our job because it gets all the attention. But again, you need a birth record and you were born in McLean County, you want to get a copy of it, that's through our office.
Right.
If you're going to get married in McLean County, we do marriage certificates, so you and Hunter can contact me when you guys are ready for that. And so we have the recording division. Any records, plat books, things you need to look up, we've got that too. But again, the big part that gets all the attention is the elections. And as I mentioned, we're already gearing up for the presidential election. This is the earliest we have ever started.
Wow.
So, by the way, we are recruiting election judges, so I'll fill you in on that later too.
Awesome. I guess that leads us great into our next question, which is, would you say the most important part of your job would be the elections, or?
No, I can't say that. It's just it gets the most attention because when you think about it, every job that we do in record, imagine all those confidential records and the records that the public needs. Sometimes it's an emergency need. If someone's passing away, we've run out to the hospital and done the marriage license for them. So every part of it is really important to someone. So I look at them all as equal.
I think that's a great way to look at it. And then, so our next question is about the vote by mail process, which we obviously had a lot of fresh experience with in the 2020 election. And so maybe finally it's time to get some good explanations from a county clerk on can you walk us through what the vote by mail process looks like?
I'm happy to do that.
Awesome.
Because in McLean County, Mom always said self-bragging stinks too, but I'm going to do some self-bragging here on our staff.
Let's just hope she doesn't listen.
Yeah, I know exactly. So she's a little hard of hearing, so turn that down. We have never had any, and that's why I really enjoy this opportunity to help set the record straight if it needs to be any longer. We have never had any reports of fraud, voter suppression ever. So if you ever have anybody that won't take a stand on that, let me know. We'd be happy to educate them.
Kathy will come get you.
No.
The record is straight. Vote by mail is safe in McLean County.
Thank you. And what's sad for some people who will not admit that, because of 2020, they're actually scaring the very voters they are trying to help and keeping them from voting. So I hope people hear this message and that they will know that they can really vote by mail here. It's safe. We have quite a team, and it is made up of Republicans and Democrats. It's open to public scrutiny. We have cameras in the building. It's a real good checks and balance, and I would suggest that when people talk about voter fraud, they say, why don't you go take a look at McLean County, because they know how to do it.
There we go. I love that confidence, and I agree. McLean County is doing an awesome job. So, to those of you who would attack your office and your methods, what would you have to say to them?
I'd have to say to come and talk to us or be an election judge, because again, I'm really going to stand up to any of those claims and call those folks out. So now we believe in scrutiny, and we believe in poll watchers and invite them in. Last time, in my opinion, there were so many, they should have been out knocking on doors for candidates. They might have won a few more seats. Again, we do want to be watched. I don't want people to say, oh, she's scared we'll find something. Well, they haven't found anything in the 14 years I've been in office, nor my predecessor either. So I think we've got a pretty well-established reputation. So now let's set the example for other states around the country. And anybody with further doubts, and they're much less now than they have been, say, last year or the year before, because a lot of folks have perhaps paid attention to what I say in our crew and seen the Republicans and Democrats working together, and many have become election judges. What better way to see how this process really functions than to sit through it for 16 hours and get paid $200, and then you can see vote by vote by vote and the scrutiny that's put into that, and that includes the vote by mail and the early voting.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then I love how, when it came into question, like, is vote by mail safe? Is it going the right way? The McLean County office just opened the doors and said, come look, come see what's happening. We will prove to you that it's true. And I wish a lot more institutions just in general across all boards took that same approach.
Yeah, thank you. It's a good point. You start really having doubts, and again, we want scrutiny, we want poll watchers, is to, when someone starts to pause and you can't get in to see what they do, or for some reason they're too busy to let you in, then you start really questioning.
Some red flags start waving, don't they?
Exactly.
Exactly, I agree. Do you think that the Bloomington Election Office should combine with the County Clerk's office to create one election authority for the entire McLean County? This is Hunter's question, if you guys wanted to know.
I mean nothing by this. It's just a question people have asked me.
And it's a very good question, because out of 102 counties, there are only now, I think, maybe 5 or 6 that have 2 election jurisdictions. So people say, well, why is that, Kathy? Well, that's the way their city was set up 70 years ago. It's been tried in the past, I think, twice to combine the two, and it's been defeated. It takes a referendum or something like that to say, if they do away with the Bloomington Election Commission by a referendum, it automatically goes into the county clerk's office. Getting really into the weeds here, but it has to state in the referendum by law, and it only goes to Bloomington voters, do you want to get rid of your election authority? And to me, perhaps if that was reworded, it might pass, but it's not for me to say. It's for the voters to say. To me, it makes sense you might save a little money, but we get not a lot, we get voter confusion. They're always coming into our office rather than Bloomington Election Commission. But really, in the long run, it really works well. And we work very well with the Bloomington Election Commission staff. They're only a block away. And so, again, if somebody wants to do that, it's a free country. And then it's up to the voters to say, yeah, I think it's time to combine. Or no, I really like it this way. It's doing well. So it's up to the voters.
Do you think that the voters are passing because they're just not quite sure what the bill is insinuating? Or I guess not passing because they're not sure what the bill is insinuating? Or what do you think the problem there is?
You know, I would be guessing. I would say do you think it's a good idea to combine both into one entity? It would save money. It would provide less confusion, but they can't say that in the referendum.
Right.
So I think it's a little bit of confusion. But again, because our offices have worked well, if we were continually having trouble or fighting with each other, then I think the voters might vote a different way. But we get along well and it works well.
Yeah, that makes sense. You guys work well together. Very in tune. And then what would you say your greatest challenges have been in your 16 years of service as county clerk?
Well, they're happening right now. It's elections.
Yeah.
You know, the others, and you need to hire well. We just had a full-time job not too long ago, and I filled it with part-timers. 5 people applied, and it usually couldn't even get anybody to apply. And they all turned it down because they could make more money elsewhere. So there's that, working with administration, nice people, but trying to squeeze another nickel out for good employees is always a challenge, but that's part of business.
Yeah.
But elections, 2020, we had threats, not death threats, but borderline. Our judges out there are starting to get a little nervous.
Wow.
So it's the biggest challenge we've ever dealt with. And again, I think you can see the climate of where we're at right now going into 2024. I think it's going to be the biggest turnout we have ever seen. But a lot can change in 10 or 11 months.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm hoping the vitriol dies down a little bit, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
And so we continually ask for more security and don't get it. And I hope I hope administration starts taking that more seriously. They're good people, but it's something, it's a challenge. This is the biggest challenge ever.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a challenge that's not just plaguing the McLean County Clerk's office or voting or whatever, but just the entire country, the problem of division that we have throughout everything.
Exactly.
And violent division at that.
Yes, and thankfully, knock on wood, this is such a great county. But the judges all over the country are having trouble getting election judges. Not necessarily because of that, because it's a very long day, and it's $200, which a lot of folks love getting that extra spending money as well, and it's a great challenge. But it's harder and harder for counties to get election judges. So the question will be, if we keep our vote-by-mail system, there's one state, I forget who, it's all vote-by-mail, and it works quite well. I forget what state that is. I don't know if it's...
I think it's North...
I want to say it's Nevada, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll have to Google that. I forget. But so they've gone to
I thought it was New England.
I actually thought it was South Dakota, so we'll have to see.
Okay, we're all over the map, y'all.
But I don't know. So I think in the future, and you younger folks might have a better view of that, is will we soon be all vote by mail or have a lot more early vote? In Illinois, we have 40 days of early voting.
Yeah.
40 days.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Some people don't like it. It's costly, but it becomes more and more popular, especially in primaries where a lot of people haven't made up their mind till the very last minute. So you'll see it be really slow. But so we'll see. I love having election judges. You send them out to Bellflower or Chenoa or Lexington, and the folks get to bring their kids and get a little sticker. And I hope that never goes away.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a very monumentous American experience to go and vote for the first time, in person, and really cast your vote and everything. I know when I did it for the first time this last election, not the consolidated, but the one before that. It was truly a great experience to go and cast my vote physically.
Yeah.
And
I hope we don't lose that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think we'll lose it totally, but I do think that you're correct in saying that vote by mail will become increasingly more popular, because I think it's just more streamlined solution, I guess, for everybody.
Yeah, as long as it keeps panning out and is an honest, open process like you have here in McLean County, and that the people that say things that are untrue, I hope that more people stand up to that and prove them wrong. I think that will help as well.
All right, so Hunter just pulled up some info for us. It says, as of 2022, 8 states, including California, Colorado, Hawaii, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, and Washington, hold elections almost entirely by mail, with general elections also held via mail in Vermont.
Almost entirely by mail.
Almost.
There's one state, and you're going to find that.
We'll find it eventually, but
or not.
In the end, I was wrong. It wasn't New England.
New England isn't a state.
Okay, it's a region. I meant somewhere in the New England.
Yes.
Anyway, moving on. I guess our final question is, do you have any last messages, final sayonaras you'd like to give to our listeners?
Well, first, again, thanks so much. It's opportunities like this that really help get the word out about all our processes and what the county clerk does. So now you know if you're getting married in McLean County, where to go, okay? But just you can help with elections, again, is to spread the word, and we'll be sending some information out to you and Hunter and your president to help us recruit judges and get the word out there. We'd love to. This is a polling place, Heartland Community College, and
it sure is.
So that's nice too. And we need a lot of judges here, don't we, Hunter? So things like that. And if you ever hear anything negative about the voting process here, just tell them to call us and come on in. And we'll
come take a look.
Yeah, come take a look and ask as many questions as you want. And again, be an election judge or be an early voting judge. Pays $15 an hour, and you can kind of pick your days since it starts 40 days before the election. If for nothing else, you're not going to get rich doing it, but at least it pays, which is nice. Then it's almost like being at the polling place. You get a full view of what's really going on, so that they can help spread the word or bring up questions. Hey, Kathy, that one machine didn't work. You want to take a look at it? And we say thank you, and we can always solve it. And if we can't, that's when you keep asking more questions, and we welcome that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I don't have anything else except thank you, Kathy, so much for joining us here today, and thank you, everyone, for giving it a listen. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.